guys, it's Deidre from Our Upcycled Life and welcome to my channel. If you like thrifting, DIYs, repurposing, you've come to the right place and we'd love to have you follow along. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any great content. And I see Tina's making herself very comfortable. She had a bath this morning, so she's mad at me right now. Aren't ya? Today I have a tutorial on how to transfer paper to wood with Mod Podge. Simple, easy technique. It's not the reverse technique where you have to rub the paper off. You can actually just take your paper, print it off on a laser jet, and apply it to wood. And I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial to show you how you can make one on your own. I took some dollar store canvases and I created this project with that. So it's simple, easy, simple, cheap, and you'll have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, let's get started. I picked this up at the dollar store and it's a set of 2 framed pictures that are on a press board, which is perfect for this project. I love it because it's already framed and you'll have a complete picture when you're finished. And this is what the prints look like. I'm going to paint them with my homemade chalk paint. I find using the chalk paint as a base for this project works the best for the Mod Podge to adhere. And then I'm going to spray paint the frames. And I'm ready to paint it, and I'm going to use my homemade chalk paint. I'll put a link below in the description so you can see the recipe that I use, and it works great. I'm going for a real rustic look feel, so that's why I'm painting it black for the graphics that I'm going to be putting on top of it. You can use a white background. Just remember, if you're using a piece of white paper, that it will show through in the back, so you want to make sure that you have the corresponding color on the base as you do with the paper. Now, as all of us crafters do, I rushed ahead and I painted it with it in the frame, and it was a pain in the butt. So I have taken the boards out of the frame now, and I'm going to put my second coat of chalk paint on it, and it was much easier. And these are the prints that I'm going to use. These were printed off on my LaserJet printer. I decided I wanted to age my paper with the coffee stain method. I'll put a link below in the description so you can see how I did that. And now it's ready to be Mod Podged onto the board. Now I've taken my board, it has 2 coats of the black chalk paint, and then I took my sander and I really kind of distressed it all around the edges, just because that's the feel that I'm trying to go for. This technique is so easy because you don't have to worry about reversing text or rubbing off any of the paper. It's just real simple and easy just to Mod Podge it right on the board. And I think these are going to look great. Now comes the fun part. I use the Mod Podge matte finish, and that works the best for me. And you're just going to flip over your paper and you're going to just take the Mod Podge with your paintbrush and just spread it over evenly the whole piece of paper. The trick is you don't want it too thick. When you have it too thick, then you're going to introduce wrinkles and bubbles. So just do long strokes and just cover the whole paper. And you have to work kind of quick because you don't want it to dry on you. And make sure you spread it right out to the edges and into all the corners. And it doesn't matter that I'm going over the edges a little bit because that's going to all blend in and it'll help keep the corners and the edges down flat. Now we're ready to flip it over. And you're going to very carefully place it right where you want it. Make sure it's not crooked, make sure it's centered right on your piece of board. And then just take your fingers and just gently spread all the little air bubbles and all the wrinkles out of the paper. And don't be too aggressive. You don't want to rip or tear the paper, and you should be able to feel with your fingertips if there's any little air bubbles or wrinkles, and just smooth them out gently and just take your time and get it as flat as you can. And if you've put a nice even coat of the Mod Podge on, you shouldn't have any problems with any wrinkles showing through. And as you can see, it's laying really flat. No air bubbles, no wrinkles. Now, of course, the paper looks distressed, so it's going to kind of give it that look, but it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to go on and do the second one. Now, if you don't have a laser jet printer, have no fear, because there is actually a couple steps that you can do if you have an inkjet printer to do this technique. And I'm going to be creating a video on how to do that next week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. Now let them dry completely. And now we're ready for the top coat, and I'm going to use the Mod Podge, the matte finish again. Now when putting the top coat on, less is more. You don't want to put a real thick coat of this on. You just want a nice thin coat and just long strokes from the top to the bottom, side to side, and cover that whole piece of paper. If you put too much Mod Podge on it, it will bubble up and it'll wrinkle again. So you just want a real light coat put on. Now, if you do find you do have a little wrinkle or a little air bubble, here's a little tip you can try. Take a little piece of saran wrap or cling wrap, wrap it in a little bit of a ball, and then dab it and press all those wrinkles and air bubbles out. This works really well because you don't want to use your fingers, because you could tear the paper or your finger would stick to it. So just dab a little bit of the saran wrap here and there if you see the wrinkles, and it'll push it right out. And there you have the finished pictures. I spray painted the frames in a satin finish spray paint, and I think it finished them off beautifully. You can make your own graphics in lots of programs. You can use Canva, you can use PicMonkey, or you can even use your Word program. You can also use this method with photos that you've printed off on your laser jet printer. I hope I've inspired you to get out your Mod Podge and try this technique and make some pictures of your own. I'm uploading lots of great DIY content all the time, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any great content. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.